Hey guys, Alana Terry here. Happy Friday. I hope it has been a good week, and I am just so thankful to the Lord for bringing us through another week of this hunkered down isolation period. If you hadn't seen yet or noticed yet, I've been doing more of these videos and recordings both for the Facebook group, the Christian Fiction Book Lounge, as well as some of these. I'm also taking the audio and putting onto the Unabridged Christian Fiction audiobook podcast. So for me, this has been a really fun way to feel more connected to you, even though we're all like stuck at home doing hopefully not nothing, but hopefully maybe getting a little bit of extra rest. And for sure, hopefully not feeling too stressed out. I really do hope and pray that this is a special time for you and your family, that you have all of your needs met. You can hear my dog whining in the background. If I move over here, you could probably see her. Yes, there is Kitty. For those of you watching in the video, Kitty is our older dog. We also have a puppy named Coffee, who you will sometimes hear barking. But anyway, this is Friday. It's April 17th. Again, so glad we made it through another week. And I just wanted to start doing these fun Friday videos where I read you a little snippet of what I've been working on. So if you've been watching previous videos from this week, I've been doing the quarantine diaries, which takes some of the characters from my novels and talks about what they would be doing during this quarantine. And I have also been teasing my new thriller, which comes out in less than 2 weeks. I'm so excited to get this one out there to you. So today I'm going to be reading you from chapter 1. This is the very first time anybody except for, let's see, me and 2 editors have seen this. So I hope you enjoy that. And one more thing I wanted to do before we dive into reading this first chapter together, I wanted to do a book highlight. I know that sometimes I end up talking about the same books over and over, and there are a lot of people who really like my novels, but they only have read some of the kind of more well-known or more major ones. So I'm also going to take some time today to tell you about a book that maybe you don't know as well. This is the book Infected, which is the one I wanted to highlight today just because of what we're going through with this pandemic. So Infected it's like book 6 or 7 in the Kennedy Stern series. If I look behind me, I've got the books behind me. So it looks like it's book 6. And this takes place in a fictional world. I wrote it years ago, but basically the world is freaking out because of a pandemic, and they haven't gone to total lockdown mode, but it's looking like it might be sort of going that way. There's some themes in this book about healing and prayer and the role of faith in healing and the type of person who says that if you get sick, that means God's mad at you. It deals with a lot of issues like that. And then it also has an entire other theme about this pandemic going on. So for people who are interested, that is Infected. In general, I think most readers prefer to start in book 1 of the Kennedy Stern series, which is Unplanned. But maybe if you started it and never finished, or if you're the kind of person who likes diving into the middle, there's no reason not to start the series in the middle. It's totally doable. But again, that book is Infected, which just because of what we're going on with the pandemic, I wanted to spotlight today. And now let's dive into the first chapter of my newest thriller. And I believe this is the very first time that I am announcing the title of this book publicly. So this is chapter 1 from Save Me Once. I'm going to actually start with the author's note. And once I read the author's note, you guys will understand why I included it here. Save Me Once is a thriller by Christian suspense novelist Alana Terry. One of the characters you'll meet is a teen runaway involved in a life on the streets. Great care has been taken to avoid explicit scenarios or gratuitous violence. However, discretion is advised if you may be triggered by the above scenario or if you're considering sharing this book with the young reader. So that kind of trigger warning right there applies also to what I'm reading in chapter 1. But again, not anything extreme or gratuitous, but a hard theme for sure. Chapter 1 of Save Me Once. How long had it been since the last time she ate? A day? Maybe more? She rolled onto her side, forgetting for one single moment that she was bound, trapped. Of course, even if the door was unlocked, she couldn't escape. The deadbolt was nothing but a symbol of her captivity, a metaphor. Her English teacher would be impressed by the comparison. If she ever saw him again, that is. Mr. Daly once said she was his best student. Of course, with only 15 members of his honor class to choose from, the competition wasn't all that fierce, but she'd let the praise float into her head just the same. All that was gone now. Mr. Daly, the good grades, the star pupil she'd once been. She squeezed her eyes shut and for a moment was able to imagine that none of this had ever happened, that she was home, that her mother was downstairs sizzling bacon in a frying pan on the stovetop. A sigh, trying harder to recapture the memory. The smell of the bacon grease, savory enough to appease the hunger that gnawed very real in her gut. The hunger that threatened to shatter her illusion of peace, of home. Squeezing her eyes even harder, forcing her mind to remember, forbidding the memories from vanishing. Not yet. Not yet. Where was the smell of bacon? She didn't want to let it go. Xavier had come last night, but he didn't stay long. He rarely did anymore. She told him she was out of granola bars. Hadn't she mentioned that? And he promised to get her more. Or had she misheard him? He was mad at her. It wasn't his fault. Work was hard right now. Lean times. She saw the anxiety that draped over his shoulders like a 100-pound mantle. There, a simile. Mr. Daly had been a good teacher. She curled her knees up toward her chest, turning her back toward the sunlight that was valiantly attempting to pry into her room through the thick curtains. The shackles chafed her wrists, and her back kinked when she tried to inch away from the invasive sunlight. Xavier had removed the clock from the nightstand, but she knew from the angle of the sun he should be here soon. She'd read in a history book once that dogs would rather be tortured than ignored. She couldn't recall which class she'd read that in, or why such a random fact popped into her head now of all times. But she'd learned that random thoughts pop up at unexpected moments when you're chained to a bed. She inched her heel away when she felt the prickles of sunlight land on her bare feet and counted the minutes. Xavier would be back soon. She hoped he remembered those granola bars. So that, again, is chapter 1 of Save Me Once, which, exciting news, is now available for pre-order. I hope that you guys enjoy this. This is the first full-length Christian suspense or Christian thriller that I've put out, I think, in 2020. So enjoy, and we'll talk to you again real soon.